Hi, lovelies. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sarah Martucci. I'm a psychic medium, certified crystal healer, paranormal investigator, all around witchy fucking weirdo. And you guys, if you've never been here before, this is the free weekly reading. This is where I pull 3 piles of cards. You choose any and all that you're drawn towards. But first, I like to start with a little something I lovingly refer to as astro motherfuckery. That's not the full title, or at least the working title is just astrofuckery. Sometimes I like to throw motherfucking in there because fuck it, why not? All right, you guys, let's get fucking to it. Look, this week I usually kind of focus on 2 things going on in the week, so let's start with the first one. We're looking at Pluto going direct on October 8th. Yeah, it's October 8th. So Pluto is stationing direct in the sign of Capricorn. And guys, anytime a planet is going, retrograde, it really talks about like the inner stuff that we got to do. It deals with like our inner workings and like facing ourselves inwardly. When things go direct, that means that we can start to direct this energy, everything that we've learned, everything that we've gathered out into the outside world. So as Pluto is stationing direct here. It's kind of giving us a second chance to, with Pluto here, transform ourselves. Maybe structurally with Capricorn here. So look to also see where Capricorn, which house it rules in your chart, to see where we're getting forward movement again. But yeah, this is really kind of like setting up a better structure. What did we learn after the past like 6 months of this planet being retrograde? What internal work have we been doing? Maybe breaking down structures, putting up new ones. Maybe some powerful transformations have been happening for us, and now we're ready to show the world who we are and what the fuck we are about. I want to say Capricorn's a sign that doesn't take shit from nobody. Have you met a Capricorn? They literally have no time because they're just fucking busy. So there is something here too, I want to say, around boundaries. What have you learned about your boundaries for the last 6 months? And what can you bring now to your everyday work, your everyday living around that boundary work? Sometimes, guys, no can be the most loving thing we could possibly say to another, and especially to protect ourselves. Finally, we have a full moon coming up on the 9th on Sunday in the sign of Aries. Guys, this one's actually conjunct Chiron. And if you guys know about that comment, it's the wounded healer. So there's something here about like being wounded, getting fucked up, and what you learn from it and how you bring that gift and that ability to the world. Essentially, quick story, with Chiron, his parents, his mother just totally abandoned him. He's abandoned by his parents. They saw him as a monster. He was half centaur, half human. And she was like, hell to the no, I gotta go. It was that first initial wound from parents, and then how that proliferated throughout his life, but how he was able to heal it at one point by facing it. And then he was able to turn around and help and heal others. Chiron is also right now in the sign of Aries. So this is really talking about like going back to those core wounds, going back to our childhood, maybe even how we abandon ourselves, maybe from our core wounding from childhood. So there's some important things coming up here right now, and it's asking us to really I think this full moon is asking us to look at our core wounding. Look to see how it's affecting ourselves personally right now, no matter how old you are. How is that affecting you right now? And are you taking care of yourself, like loving on you, but not becoming to the point where you're selfish and not sharing your gifts and abilities with others? So we have to be careful with that with Aries. But I want to say in the sign that and especially with this full moon, something is coming to a full combination, or something is going to be so highlighted for you, I feel like, by this full moon, especially with Pluto going direct. And now we've got Chiron with this full moon in Aries. Like, guys, core wounds are coming up. We're going to have to look at them. There's a call back to the past, or at least probably to our childhood. And what ways were we abandoned in childhood? Or what ways were we abandoned whenever we were younger? And how are we still continuing to do that now to ourselves? How can we make a highlight of that and not do it anymore? So I do think there's going to be some important shit on the fucking table this week, you guys. It's another transformational week, and we're moving into eclipse season by the end of the month too. So whatever you do this week, look, and with Chiron in the mix too, fucking take care of yourself. Make sure that you're healing yourself, that you're going to a therapist, you're talking about these issues, you're facing whatever the fuck you've been through lately, and really, I feel like by this full moon, stepping into your motherfucking power. Because I feel like that's something beautiful too that Aries brings to the table, is like they will not fucking hold back. Stepping into their power is everything. It's the whole point of their life, is to step into my power, see where it's at, and then wield it in a way where it doesn't hurt others, or it's not just for myself. So I feel like this full moon is going to bring that to a highlight for us. It's going to just kind of really, I think, also to reinforce maybe the boundary work that we've been doing previously as Pluto goes direct too. So you guys, hold on tight. Everything's going to be okay. Just look to see what this full moon is highlighting for you. Pay attention to the wounding and where this kind of like maybe the root goes back to if something blows up or something gets ugly. And just make sure that you are not abandoning yourself right now. Please. Make sure that you're showing up for you and taking care of your self needs and loving on you in only the way that you know how. So don't be afraid to, I want to say to you with this full moon, don't be afraid to know your fucking story. You're the lead character here. Tits up. You got this. All right, if you guys are done with Astrofucker, I sure the fuck am. Follow me into the next screen. We're going to pull the 3 piles of cards again. Pick any and all that you're drawn towards. And I'll interpret those piles in just a hot second. See you guys in a minute. All right, if you guys pick card pile number 1, here's your beautiful cards. Your first one is the Knight of Wands. Second card is the King of Coins. And your final card is the 8 of Coins. So I want to say, like, this is interesting. This could be interpreted a couple ways. The first one I would say, really down to, like, the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands here is the character that is like all over the place. This guy's not very mature. I don't necessarily trust him when he comes up in readings just because he's like all over the place. He's very juvenile. He's on to the next best thing. He can't sit still. He can't see anything through to the end. This guy just is like very temperamental, has anger issues. He's just man, if you try to tell him no, he will literally cut through you. It's not a good thing. Like, this guy's a hot mess express. But I think it's interesting with the Knight of Wands standing next to the King of Coins here. This kind of makes me feel like somebody that used to be like that. Also, too, I found with the Knight of Wands, it's usually talk about somebody that's got like a military background. Maybe they're a police officer, a firefighter. There's something here about like courage behind this, or maybe like behind like the work that they do. Question mark. Maybe they're an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Maybe that's in their top 3 or their inner planets here. But I think with the King of Coins here, we're boot scoot boogieing. There's a big transformation that happens here from the Knight of Wands to the King of Coins. Because guys, the King of Coins, this is somebody that like is practical, grounded, realistic, logic. He takes forever to make a decision, but man, when he does, you know he's thought about it and he's really weighed the pros and cons of what his situation's going on. This is somebody that wants to take care of you, that's investing in you, that also knows how to invest wisely. He's got the patience of a fucking saint. And then again, it takes him forever to fucking get shit going, but man, once he does, like, he sets it up for the future. He doesn't necessarily always think about himself, but he thinks about his family and about the future and like, how do I take care of my people? And I think it's interesting because connected with the 8 of Coins, like, this is something, to me, it feels as though this male has been working at this maybe for the last 8 years. Maybe there was a call back in August around like trying to grow the fuck up here. There's something going on here where this young male, or at least the mentality here, and then changing from a knight into a king. This is a big fucking deal. Another slight interpretation with that same thing in the front. Not only have they been working on this for a while, maybe the last 8 years, maybe there's just a reference back to August. There was a highlight here. I got to work on my shit, grow the fuck up. But this can even talk about like how work is like helping them to heal, to move up, or maybe they finally found the work that they want to do in this world, and it's helped them to grow the fuck up. Okay, so another interpretation of this could be, if this is not a male watching this, maybe this is a female watching this. Maybe you're watching your son this week turn into a man. Maybe he gets a job that really just highlights for him what it is he wants to do in this world, and he really starts working towards it, and you see him really growing up in front of your eyes. Or even too, this can talk about like the energy that you've got to take on. This is like, stop being temperamental about something. Make a choice around it. And start investing in this thing wisely. This is productivity. This is creativity. This is really getting your craftsmanship out there for people to see. So I also want to say too, if this has to do around business or career, now is your week to stop being upset maybe around things not going the way that you want. This is about like you stepping into your power, you investing wisely, doing the things that you need to do, and like showing the world what the fuck you're made of, or at least putting your product out there for people to see. Like, also too, can you please stop seeing yourself as a beginner? You're no longer a beginner. Okay, you're not a beginner, sweet pea. All right, you've been working at this long enough that you know what the fuck you're doing, and it's time for you to let the world see what the fuck you're about and what you bring to the fucking table. You absolutely got this. Okay? Last thing, if this is about a love relationship, we may be seeing somebody doing some fucking growing up. And maybe there's something going on since August here again. There's a reference back to August. Maybe we've known this person for 8 years. Maybe like the last 8 years we've been working on this relationship and we're just starting to see this person kind of like grow into themselves or really starting to fucking mature. That's fucking nice. So I want to say, whoever got card pile number 1, this is actually a really great card pool. If anything, this is like movement upwards. And especially around business and career, this is fucking gorgeous. Get your work out there. Let people see what the fuck you're about. And remember, hun, you are not a fucking beginner. You know what the fuck you're about. Time to step into your leadership position. All right. If you guys pick card pile number 2, here is your beautiful cards. Your first one is the 2 of Wands. Your second card is the King of Wands. And your final card is the 4 of Swords. So let's talk about it. So this is actually a really interesting combination. Look, guys, long story short, business, career, love, friendship, farting back and forth forever. Do I choose that donut or do I choose that cheese stick? No this week. With the 2 of Wands, the King of Wands, and the 4 of Swords, it's saying with this character, there's going to be an important male character this week, or important male figure this week. With the King of Wands here, this is somebody that is really brave. He's also really powerful. This is a leader. And this card talks about like stepping into your leadership position. This guy also is like the connector. Everybody comes to him. Everybody knows him. Like he knows exactly who to hook you up with or what the fuck to get for you. People come to him for advice and for help. He's very forward looking. He can see the future. He might even have some gift and ability here to see the future, or some psychic gifts and abilities. But I want to say mostly with the King of Wands, this is an important leadership, person in a position of leadership that can really kind of help you move forward in your life. But I want to say with the 2 of Wands here, we've got plans and ambitions that we can't act on yet. This is literally my card of like new things forming, but I can't do it yet, even though it's Wands. This is my card of sit on your fucking hands. And the 4 of Swords is like the lower octave of the Hermit. This is asking you to find tranquility, find peace, chill the fuck out, take a break. So maybe an interpretation of this is maybe we brought new ideas and ambitions to this King of Wands, but maybe it was rejected and we're just trying to like go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going to work here. Maybe even too, this is telling you this week that like no matter what the situation is, now is not the time to bring anything new to this person. Like they just either can't handle it or they can't see it. Maybe they need a break right now with the 4 of Swords, but I really feel like this has more to do with the energy around him. So I want to say that like this week is really important to kind of gauge where this King of Wands is at. Make sure this guy can actually really hear what you're saying. Make sure that the ideas and what you're bringing to the table are fully formed too. Is this something that's even logical or practical? Is this well balanced? Logical and practical with Swords here. Is it well balanced with the 2 and the Wands? Like, do we really have the passion behind this that we think that we do? So there might even be just a call this week to really sit down, focus on what you're bringing to this character and what you want to offer him, or maybe what you're asking from him. Just make sure that you're clear on what your actual goals are, that what you're putting on the table is something that's reachable or workable towards, that we're not being like, I don't know. You want to be realistic about it here with the Swords. But I want to say with the Swords here too, it's really asking you sit still on this, really continue to think on this, work with this. We may not even have all the information that we need yet. So again, I would wait until, well, I don't even think I said it to begin with, but I would wait until about mid-month before we have this conversation, when we get out of that Mercury retrograde shadow phase, maybe around the 18th. But I want to say with the 4s here, there might be a call back to April, and there might be also a call back to February. So February and April might have been important with this King of Wands. And now we're just trying to figure out maybe either where do we go with this relationship, what is happening here, and also too, what are we cooking up for the future? What are these new things, these new ambitions, these new plans? Maybe it's a personal one for you. Maybe you're deucing the fuck out. Maybe with the 4 of Swords here, this moment of reflection made you realize like, this isn't it for me and I got to go somewhere else. Or maybe sitting down and reflecting on this, you're like, this is where the fuck it's at. And this is where the fuck I need to be. Another interpretation of this could be that you need to step into your power, but this needs to be an internal thing right now. This isn't about doing that on the outside world. So how do we take this leadership position and find it within ourselves, stand in our power and say yes to ourselves? How do we do that? Without any validation from anybody on the outside. We don't need their 2 cents. What is your inner leader? What is your inner fire saying to you? And also pay attention to the timing of what's going on with all of this too, so that you can take action on this when the timing is right. Either way, you guys, if you got card pile number 2, sit and wait. You need more information. And maybe even too, we need to look at this character a little bit more. Make sure this person's on the up and up. Make sure they're actually who they say that they are. And wait for more information to come in before you take any fucking action. We fucking got this. All right. If you guys got card pile number 3, here's your beautiful cards. Your first one is the 5 of Cups. Second card is the 3 of Coins. And then finally you got a major arcana card. Tell what major change, major evolution, major movement forward. You got the Emperor. It's been really interesting this week, guys. The cards that we keep pulling. Because we got another male figure showing up here with the Emperor. There is no king above him. Again, this usually represents an Aries person, but this could also represent fire element. In like other love readings, this would be seen as like the divine masculine. I don't usually fall into that kind of stuff. But for me here, the Emperor usually stands for a fire placement, or he has important fire placements. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius again, in his, his top 3 or in his like inner planets. So like Mars, Mercury, Venus, you guys get the drift. It's interesting this week because it kind of feels like with the 5 of Cups here, like this is loss, this is sadness. Like this is just like, this is grief, this is fighting. And then with the 3 of Coins, it's like, this is partnership, this is working together. So I do want to say that like, it's interesting. If this is a guy watching it this week, like sir, some kind of fighting, you have lost an important partnership here, my friend. And with the Emperor here, like this is somebody that like, oh my God, he is the ultimate leader. This is the ultimate father figure. Maybe this is an actual father figure that we're dealing with this week. Maybe this guy is a father and it's one of the most important titles that he has. I want to say with the Emperor, he needs complete and utter control. He can be like an authoritative brick wall. This guy is just like kind of hard to get through to, especially when he makes a decision on something. He listens to pretty much no one besides his fucking queen. So, or just some very important people close to him, but like, this is people that he's known for years and that he trusts without a doubt. This guy's not easy to get close to. This guy's not easy to get his trust from. But I want to say with the Emperor here, again, if this is a guy watching this, sorry, sir, you lost out on a really important relationship this week. Or if this is somebody else watching this, if you're not a guy, maybe there's a fight that we have with an important male figure this week. And it just feels as though we lose the partnership. So I do want to say here, with the 5 of Cups, this can be self-inflicted. So if you're watching this, like, you need to look at the ways that you have caused issues with this important male figure. If this is a male watching this and you feel like that kind of describes you, you need to look at the ways that you have caused an important partnership to fall apart in your life. Now, if this has to do around like business and career, same thing applies. Love and relationships, same thing applies, you guys. So this week, I really think if you got card pile number 3, we got to look at the ways that we are fighting with people around us, the way that we're starting shit and like not facing our stuff and not handling things well. Maybe we're literally in the midst of grief with this card too. Maybe we like literally lost this male character, or maybe again, if this is a guy watching this, maybe you literally lost your person that you thought was a partner to you in some way, shape, or form. Now, I do want to say with the 3 of Coins here, there might have been a business bent to it, a career bent. Maybe this was like a banker or somebody that we've been working with, or this can literally talk about like really important partnerships here. So this can even be around marriage, family, and home, or somebody that felt like home here. So I want to say with the Coins too, we thought it was established. We fucking thought it was established. We thought it was grounded. It was going good. Like we were working together. Everything was good. And then there was a fucking fight that blew everything up. And now we're just feeling like really sad and at a loss. So again, whoever got card pile number 3 this week, make sure that you're facing the ways that you're fighting with people, maybe face the ways that you're not facing yourself. Maybe there's even 2 guys here with the 5 of Cups. Maybe this goes back to, there's some fear of abandonment here. And so maybe we push people away before they get a chance to get to know us or get close to us, so that it saves us or ourselves from like being hurt and harmed. So just look at the ways that you're handling your relationships this week. Are you pushing people unnecessarily away because you're afraid to feel, or you're afraid to like go into your emotions? Are you pushing people away because you don't know how to deal with your feelings and emotions in partnership? Maybe you grew up not seeing like good relationships, and so you don't know what like a good, healthy relationship looks like, and you're always trying to protect yourself, so you push people away, but it leaves you feeling sad and alone. It doesn't have to happen like that anymore, guys. So if you got card pile number 3, make sure that you're facing yourself. You're doing the work. Look at your root cause and the root pain, the OG of where the fuck this goes back to. So that I even want to say with this card, stop running. Look, if you got card pile number 3 this week, stop running away from people that just want to love you. Why are you running away from people that just want to love you and just want to be in partnership with you? And so where does that pain and that anguish go back to? What are you scared of? What are you running away from? Interesting. Look, I know that card pile number 3 was a hard one to kind of pull, guys. But I think too, look, even if somebody this week, maybe this has been done to you, look at the ways that you're pushing people away too. Make sure that you're not doing the same fucking thing, and they're not just holding up a mirror for the shit that you're doing too. So make sure, guys, if this is any kind of relationship this week, not only can we see the other person, what they're going through, but like we can also notice and check in and like listen to ourselves and just make sure that we're not doing the same thing too. And that we're showing up the best way that we can for our partnerships. Whatever you do, allow people to love you this week for all that you are. You don't have to keep, with the Emperor here, such strong barriers up that you literally keep out the partnerships and the unions that have been calling to your fucking soul. So this week, if you choose to accept it, face your shit. Make sure that you're doing the right things and quit pushing away people that you fucking care about. All right. Middle fingers for no, call for yes. I hope to God these piles made fucking sense. You guys, thank you so much for trusting me this week. I hope it was good for you. Any and all feedback helps me to grow. Let me know what pile you picked. I love you guys, and I'll see you this week for the messages, I hope, either on Friday or Saturday. See you guys soon. Bye.